My manager said, only do what's in your job title, so I did. I worked at support at this small software company. Nothing fancy. 40 employees, basic office setup, cheap coffee that tasted like burnt rubber. My boss Amina was this quiet Pakistani woman who spoke English, Urdu, and German fluently. She'd been there 5 years and never caused drama. Our sales team constantly dragged her into client calls last minute. German clients loved talking to her in their language. French clients would light up when she switched to French mid-conversation. She'd explain technical stuff they couldn't understand, translate error messages, basically save deals that were falling apart. Then Brad became VP of sales. First week on the job, he called Amina into his office. I was fixing his computer when he told her she wasn't allowed on client calls anymore. You're IT support, not sales. Stay in your lane. Amina just nodded and went back to her desk. No argument, no drama. Just started staying in her cube when sales needed help. Week 2, chaos started. This German banking client called about API integration issues. Their whole marketing campaign depended on our software working perfectly. Sales guy Jake tried explaining the technical limitations but kept messing up the terminology. Client got frustrated and hung up. They launched their campaign anyway. Cost them 2 million euros when our API couldn't handle their traffic volume. Exactly what Amina would have warned them about if she'd been on the call. Jake tried calling back but the client wouldn't pick up. They were furious, threatening legal action. Week 3, French client Marseille Finance called about data export problems. Sarah from sales got on the call, but she doesn't speak French and they barely spoke English. 20 minutes of confused back and forth before they hung up and sent an angry email saying they were switching to our competitor. Brad kept blaming outdated documentation and unclear product specs in team meetings. Meanwhile, Amina quietly fixed bugs, answered support tickets, and said nothing about the calls she wasn't allowed on anymore. Month 2 got worse. Korean client needed urgent help with their payment gateway integration. Sales had nobody who spoke Korean. They used Google Translate over email for 3 days while the client's system stayed broken. By day 4, the client hired a different company and demanded a full refund. That's when the CEO, Michelle, noticed something weird in the quarterly report. Client retention dropped 15%. Support satisfaction scores tanked. 3 major accounts threatened to leave. Board meeting time. Brad came in with a presentation blaming everything on legacy system limitations and inadequate technical resources. Said we needed to hire more sales engineers and upgrade our servers. Michelle asked if anyone else had thoughts about the retention problem. Amina raised her hand. First time she'd spoken up in months. May I show you something? She pulled up her laptop and showed call logs, email threads, technical tickets, pointed out exactly where language barriers caused confusion, showed examples of clients asking technical questions that sales couldn't answer, explained how small miscommunications snowballed into contract cancellations. I used to help bridge these gaps, she said quietly, but I'm following my job description now. Room went dead silent. You could hear the air conditioning humming. Michelle stared at Brad. You told her to stop joining client calls? Brad tried backtracking. Well, we need clear role boundaries. She just showed us we lost $500,000 in revenue because of your clear role boundaries. 2 weeks later, Amina got promoted to International Client Success Manager. Raise, bigger office, equity package. She started joining calls again, and client satisfaction jumped back up. Brad transferred to internal process optimization, basically managing spreadsheets in the basement with no client contact.